Yeah, I'll give a short intro first. So yeah, my name's Jonathan Maycock, originally from Ireland, but based in Germany since 2007. And I'm co-founder and CEO of Margin. We've been in the space quite a while. So started out in 2014, so dinosaurs in the crypto space, with with a trading terminal, which I'm going to show you guys now, and with bots and a few different things in it. And then also on the, that's on the retail side. And we also, do some market making and provide some other algos as well on the B2B side. So yeah, we're a startup out of Germany. Most of the company are in Germany, but we've got some remote around the place as well.
Cool, thanks.
Okay, then then maybe I'll share my screen here. Here. Okay, and I think I'm going to start by showing the Margin website, which will be important as well. So this is margin.de. And what you need to do, so like the idea here is that I give you guys what you need to get up and running with the trading terminal. What you need to do is create an account. Once you create an account, it's free to create it. You can go to this My Account page. And you can see here I have no license, but that's something that we wanted to announce as well tonight, that for NBX users, they won't need a license. So usually you've got to pay, different subscription models in a monthly basis and stuff to use the terminal. But we're offering, connections to NBX and to your account on NBX for free. So once you have, you've created a free account, what you need to do on the NBX site is to create an API key, and then you can come into this section here and click Manage Exchanges. And you can see for the other exchanges, like for a bunch of them, I can't do anything here because I don't have a license on this account. But there are these, exchanges for which we don't need to have a license, and we've added now NBX. Mm-hmm. And the idea is after you create your API key, also maybe important to know from a security point of view, you come here to add an exchange, and then you choose, in this case, then NBX. And you can see it's asking to copy in the first half of your secret of the API key. A little more is okay, but that's all that we will then store on our servers. We'll hash it and keep it safe. And even if our server became compromised, they couldn't do much with half a hashed key anyway. So just to let you guys know that then that's basically, on the security side, that's, that's kind of sorted. Maybe one other thing on the website is to show you here this resources. And if you come down here, we've got a bunch of tutorial videos getting started, some general stuff about Margin. I mean, we're going to go through stuff here, and also stuff about the different bots. So I can also point you over there. Most of these videos are like 4 or 5 minutes long, and that can also be a good resource to get up and running. Okay, so then I will jump over to the terminal. So this is the Margin terminal, and what we can see here is that let me just configure it a little bit. So we have NBX loaded here. Now what I've loaded in is a demo version of NBX. So maybe just very quickly, you can add in demo exchanges here, and this is basically all of the exchanges we support. And you can then practice. So before you connect your real account, you can basically see the real live market data and practice by placing orders which are, matched to orders on the order book, but they're fake orders, if you like. It's called paper trading. And that'll give you a chance to test out some of the bots and to, get used to things before you actually, deploy your own funds. So that's available. And then when you want to connect your own account, as I said, you need to create an API key at NBX exchange, and then in your account area on margin.de, you need to put that in, and then you can connect into your real account. Okay, so let's go through the terminal a bit. So up in this area here, we have, a view of the wallets. So if I click on this wallet icon here, you can see the different currencies where you have some funds, if something is reserved or not, if they're in orders, and the total of funds. So you can keep an eye on that. We also have then notifications here. So any of the trades that have happened since you've been away, you can take a look at them in notifications. Maybe at this point as well, it's important to say that this is a desktop trading terminal. So it's not a web-based terminal. It's an application you can install on Mac, Windows, and Linux. And that also has its advantages in that when you when you put in your API keys into the terminal, you're doing it locally on your machine. And as I said, we only have a small part of your key, but when you have your keys in here and you're using the terminal, you're connecting directly to the exchange, and we don't see your trades, we don't see your orders. You make a direct connection to the exchange where you're trading on. Yeah, and maybe one other point before I forget it, because it's a desktop trading terminal, when you're running bots, it's important to know that it has to be kept running. So you can't just set up a bot and then close your computer and turn it off. Like, it has to have an internet connection. It has to be kept running. So many of our clients would use a VPS and would basically configure it there and run it there, and then use Microsoft Remote Desktop to log in and take a look at what's happening, especially if they're running bots, and then you can run them 24/7. That's something we can advise as well. But it's whatever. Some people also use it just to manually trade or to have it as an interface. Okay, so then here we can see at the top here we have different currency pairs. So BTC NOK and ETH NOK and ADA and Matic are there as well. And so you can basically come and go in this top corner here. Then you can go to add currency pairs, and then we can, you'll get to see all of the pairs that are supported on the market. So all the BTC pairs or the NOK pairs, and you can type in and to add the next one, or just basically everything that's supported is there. And then we come into this control area. So let me just go over here to ADA. So in this control area, initially what you have is a manual trading. So we have these sliders. Maybe just to tell you that because this is the demo version right now, I can't sell any ADA, but in the demo version, I can give myself some funds if I want to trade, or if I want to play and do something on ADA. So I can give myself 200 ADA, and then they'll appear on my balance. Can't do that in the real world, of course, but for practicing, then that's something that you can do. And then we have these sliders, so it'll ensure that you don't place trades, below the minimum, and it takes into account your funds, so you don't place trades that are above. And if I want to place a limit order, for example, I can choose the amount using the slider, or I can come over here and say, I want to purchase something like 100. Here in the chart, I can use this price field. I can either type it here or use this price field. So it's very visual. And we have here a visualization of the order book. So this is a visualization of all the bids or all the buy orders. And here's a visualization of the asks or the sell orders. So I can choose my price, and then I can place my order. So here I'm placing a buy order. And then this order will get visualized in the order book. We can hover it. We can see, okay, it's placed manually, when it was placed, and we can see some details on it. If it's partially filled, we'll see it's been partially filled. If it gets fully filled, we'll see these little triangles. So here we had some trades that were filled. So these blue ones are for buys, like for buy trades, and there are yellow ones for sell trades that you can see here. And so another nice thing about the terminal is that you can also drag and drop orders. So rather than having to cancel this order and replace it at some other price point, I can also drag and drop it. So I can, drag it. Maybe I think I want to, pull the price back a bit. I can do that, let it go. And then in the background, the terminal will cancel and replace the order. And if I want to put through a market order or a spot order, then I can drag it to the opposite side of the order book. So I'm going across the spread here, so between the buys and the sells, and I'm going into the opposite side of the order book, and then it will get matched against orders and will get filled. And here we see the trade. So that's a little bit of, in terms of manual trading. We also have a bunch of things to help you as well in terms of indicators. So you can see already we have some spread info indicator and view-based profit and loss, which are both up here. And then we can add some other indicators. So here we have like MACD, and then this will get put into the chart, or maybe something like a Bollinger band. And you can also, configure these to a whole bunch of, colors, or, you can configure the amount of candles and a whole bunch of stuff, a bit more advanced. Show the first band as well. You can change this like so. You can configure a whole bunch of stuff and then add it in, and then you have your Bollinger band. So for technical trading, we have a bunch of tools. We even have drawing tools as well if you want to draw support lines and Fibonacci scales and label the charts and all of that. So there's a bunch of stuff that you can play around with. Also some videos you can check out on that. To just show that we have this trading terminal, and it's a fully fledged trading terminal that you can also use to help you when you're making decisions on all. Before I get to the bots, which is maybe the most interesting part, we also have this idea of, because it's a desktop trading terminal, we can add different elements to the trading terminal. So on the side here, we have one. This is called a tool window on the side. We can add one to the top or the bottom, or have it free floating. We can give it a name if we want. And now we have something that's, that we can configure as well. We can drag off to another monitor if you've got a second monitor, and we can add, a bunch of windows here all the way up to 25. Maybe you have a really big monitor, and then you can add other elements in here. So maybe you want to take a look at, at the same time, the different currency pairs that you have open. So you can basically add them all in here, and then have that on a second monitor. So you can configure it, and basically it's limitless. You can have 3 or 4 monitors and keep an eye on everything. So that's something. And there are then a bunch of things that you can add here. We have, for example, Reddit feeds. So you can keep an eye on the news. I think I already added in, which pair was it? Okay, here we also I added in some RSS feeds, so you can basically put in different news feeds, and they're time aligned in the chart. So all the stuff about FTX this week and all, you can find different news stories, and if you click on them, it takes you to the website. And the same goes for over here in any stories. So the idea is that, you have the trading, like the execution, and you also have then data. So you have the real-time data. You can practice your trading here, and then you connect your real account. You can trade with your own funds on a real account. Okay. So now I basically wanted to get to the bots, and so here we can see actually we have some bots already running, which I started a little bit earlier today, a few hours ago, and you can see a bunch of trades in here. So we can see there's a buy here, there's a few sells, there's some buys here. So there's a bunch of different trades. And if we have a look along here, we can see, okay, here's my manual trading control panel. If I want to place some manual trades on this pair, on ETH NOK. And then I have this sell bot. This is a scale trading strategy, which is a grid strategy. We'll get to it in a minute, and I'll show you how to configure it. But you can see this one was already running, and we can see, okay, well, what happened? Okay, we had 2, completed scale orders and 2 completed gain orders. We started this one with a sell, so you can see some of the information on it and some effective gain. So some, statistics on what the bot has done. And the nice thing is, I mean, there are some, competitors of ours that, you've got to pay for a bot, and you maybe get 1 bot for a pair, or you get 2, if you want another bot on that pair, you need to pay something else. And here you can basically configure in as many bots as you want and mix and match them on a single pair or over multiple pairs. So we have like 3 bots running here, and on the Bitcoin one, we've got 2 bots running. So that's also a nice feature. Yeah, and then I think it maybe makes sense to basically step through, well, how do I go about creating a bot? So maybe it makes sense to even do it here, where it's a little bit less cluttered. So we have this icon here, which is the strategy icon. So the basic idea is on any pair, then if you want to start a bot running, you click this strategy icon, and then you've got a list here of the different bots that we offer. So we have this, the first one we created was called the Margin Maker. There's a Bollinger Band strategy, an EMA crossover strategy. There's a static ping pong bot. So that's where if you just want to buy at one price and sell at another price, you can set that up and it will ping pong back and forth. We've got a scale trading strategy. That's the grid strategy I told you about. And we even have a Python strategy. And this is there's a video on the website. Anybody who can program in Python can even program their own strategies directly in the trading terminal. So I'm going to choose the grid strategy first. I'm going to say, okay, this one is a buy bot. Give it a name, and I'll create it. Okay, and the default where we create it is that it's going to do an effective gain of 0.1%. It takes into account trading fees, so any trading fees are taken into account, and then there's a gain, an effective gain on top of that. And then that's all configurable as well. So let's say we wanted not just 0.1%, but we wanted 0.5%. We can change it there, and then so I can maneuver the chart a little bit. I'll maybe make it a bit bigger here. Okay, and so here we can see here's where the buy price is. It's set initially in the spread. And what we have to do, and what's important, is we have to allocate some funds to the bot. So if we're going to buy some ADA then we're using NOK because it's ADA NOK, the pair, we need to allocate some funds to it. And we do that by this slider here to allocate some funds. And then we need to choose basically an amount, given the amount of funds. You can see as I make this bigger, so each of the orders, this red bar starts coming in. So if I make this single order 1,200, then I can only have enough funds because I've allocated a certain amount of funds to place 6 orders. Like I have to place these orders and 6 more orders. And at that point, then my bot will run out of funds. So this bot basically is trying to get some of the volatility of the course. So you can give it an amount of funds, and then, if it exits that, that amount that you gave, then the bot will run out of funds on that side, won't be able to trade anymore. But what you're looking for is hopefully that, it stays in a band, and it's like it's buying and selling, buying and selling, buying and selling. So if we take a look back here, that's what was happening here. So we had some of these bots and they're buying and selling, basically trading the volatility. So yeah, we got to configure it. We configured it to have a 0.5% gain. Then we also have this scale interval. So that's then the distance between orders. And we can also adapt that as well to make it a little bit bigger or smaller. So there's bigger, like twice as big, or smaller. And if we wanted to keep it active for a longer time, we could allocate it a little bit more funds. So we could give it a bit more funds, and then this red bar goes down. Okay, and it starts off with 4 orders, and it's also configurable. So you can, put 4 orders on the book, or you can put less or more. We'll keep it at 4 just for now. And then we can start the bot. So when we start the bot, it's going to place these orders on the order book, and we can see them here. 1, 2, 3, 4. These highlighted yellow lines shows that if this buy order is filled, what will happen is we'll place a sell order where the dashed yellow line is, and under this last buy order here, we'll place another buy order until we run out of funds, until we hit the red line. And if the next one is filled, we'll place another sell order, and another buy order will be placed on the bottom. So we will have filled 2 buy orders. We'll have 2 more down here. And now if the course goes back up again, our sell orders will get hit and they'll get filled in at a profit. And that's the idea. So you're kind of trading the volatility. And what some of the clients do is they add like a buy. So they're not so sure, is the course going up or is it going down? So they might set up a second one. So here we've got a scale trading. We'll call this our sell bot. Create it. So this time here, I need to start not with a buy, but I need to start with a sell. So now I'm on the other side. I need to allocate it some funds as well. And okay, we'll allocate it a bit more. We'll make it the orders 10 here. This time, maybe if we sell them, we want to buy back, you know, a percent away or 1.1%. And then we can start the bot. We can also add stop loss, especially on the bottom side. It's often done so that if the course goes completely against you, that you can also configure it to stop loss out. So there's a stop loss available here that we can start. And now we've got these buy orders on one side, sell orders on the other side in this grid-like structure. And basically we're set up now to trade the volatility. Yeah, so that's one of the more popular bots that we have. But as I said, we can interleave these bots as well. So we can, on top of these scale trading bots that we have here, we could add a Bollinger Band strategy as well. Let me just add it without giving it a name. So we can see this band here and here. A little bit confusing with the indicator, Bollinger Band indicator behind it. And we can configure that too. So we can say, okay, this is the sell. This is a sell band and at band 2, and I can set some offsets here. So Bollinger Band is a well-known technical indicator, and we can use that technical indicator to trigger buys and sells. So we can configure it, or we can even choose another band. We can say, no, we want to go out to the third band, or go back to the second band. So it's all configurable. We also see here that we're averaging over 12 candles, but I can also adapt that in the chart to average over more or less, as a bunch of parameters that we can use there to configure. So basically, no 2 people using it should have the same bots if they configure it at all. There's an infinite way to configure them. We can add a stop loss. You can see I didn't do it the last time, but here's a stop loss. So I can configure that also in the chart. So it's also very visual, and set some kind of a percentage. So either manually by dragging, it starts at 5%, or can type it in. We can also set things like, because these bands can come, Bollinger Bands, like depending on what's happening in the markets, they can contract very small. And to ensure that you've got a minimum gain when it triggers, you can add like some minimum gains. And here's like the default is 0.1%, but maybe you want a minimum gain of 2% or 5%. You can explicitly configure that. And with the Bollinger Band, you can either start it explicitly with a buy order, or a sell order, or any. So you can start, it's basically in the middle. We don't know if the course is going up or it's going down. And if the course goes up, we sell if we have enough funds. And if it goes down, we buy. So you can basically choose the configuration. And you also then need to, allocate the bot some funds. So you need to use this slider to allocate and say, okay, when the band is reached. So for example, we're quite close to this buy band here. If the course goes down and hits the buy band, this is the current buy threshold, then it will trigger a buy. And so you need to tell it, well, how much should it buy then? And so in this case here, if it's buying like basically 50, we're basically at 50 ADA. Then when the course reverts and we get a sell trigger, it will sell 50, and it basically will try to ping pong as well, back and forth. One difference between this bot and the last bot. So as we saw with the last one, we had these orders placed onto the order book. So the buy ones and the buy orders and the sell orders. Here, when we start the bot, so we're going to start it here. No orders are being placed because it's going to place a market order. So it's basically waiting new data is going to come in, these bands are going to adapt as as new candles are formed, and then when the condition is met, it will place a market order. So you have to sometimes be a little bit careful, whereas we know exactly where these orders, these are limit orders, are executed. With market orders, you might have to overcome a spread. The order book might be a little bit lighter there, so it might eat in. There might be a little bit of slippage, but just to keep that in mind. So there's different kind of bots, and I won't show all of them, but if we take a look through them, this margin maker bot is it also places limit orders, the EMA crossover strategy. So that's an exponential moving average strategy. It's a bit, usually should be used for a bit longer term, not really higher frequency trading, but more like day candles and for longer, trending markets. But that also then places market orders. Static ping pong, it places limit orders. So you have this mix of limit order bots or market order bots. Yeah, and I think that's, let me just take a look here. If there's a nice example. There's also some information. So if you hover over these trades, you can get some information like and toolbars about what was going on. And as I said, the statistics for the different bots are also shown here in the control panel. As you click through the different bots, you'll get the information on each of them. Yeah, so that's basically the whirlwind tour of the terminal. Definitely happy to take any questions. I don't know, will I keep sharing the screen or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's up to you, I guess. But
yeah, I keep it there now in case there's any specific questions on the bot on the terminal. Otherwise, I'll come back.
Maybe you could just also before, if there are any questions, just repeat kind of how you get this going. So first you go to your web page and you margin.de, and then you download the client.
Yeah, actually, that's one step I forgot. You're totally right. Yeah, so you create an account at margin.de. As I said, it's free. And once you have your account, you go to the My Account area. You download the client, so download latest margin software. You just click this and you download it. And separately on NBX, you need to create an API key. And once you have that API key, you come to this area here, this manage exchanges, and then you can add that in here. So you add the exchange API key. So you need to go add new key. You need to choose it for NBX and then add, and then you're basically ready to trade on your real account. Before you trade on the real account, you might want to test it out with the demo version, but that's still the same client. So basically, once you have this client downloaded and you've installed it, you can then choose to add the exchanges. And you can't add MBX now because we have an instance of MBX all running as a demo market, but basically all the real markets are addable as demo versions. So they'll see the real live data, and then you can practice and try out some of the bots and see how you're getting on, get used to it before you trade with your own funds.
Obviously I've done this, and it takes, you're up and running in 5 minutes.
Yeah, it should be. I mean, I can really recommend as well. I've just said it there, and it's on this video as well. But there's with the getting started video as well. It's like 2 minutes long on the Margin web page, and you also get to see the key being added and stuff. And it's pretty straightforward.
Any questions?
Everybody's shy. No questions.
No. Well,
let me come back. Yeah, maybe I'll just say one or two more words then. So, we also, we have, there's a contact, like if you have any difficulties or any other questions, you can always contact us, like contact@margin.de on the website. You can see like some resources there too, or join our Telegram group. That's also available on the website. So there you've got a, community where if you want to just write in something, we also have a Discord channel that's all available there. And it's a community, or there's some that write these Python bots, and we have a GitHub project for that, where people can write bots and share bots and stuff. So that's also encouraged. So definitely we're here. And the nice thing, as I said at the start, is that like usually you would have to pay for a license to trade on any of these exchanges, and for MBX now there's basically no barrier. You can just go there, create a free account, download the application, and when you create your API key, you're up and running and trading on it. So
perfect. Thank you, Jonathan. It was very informative, and I for sure learned something more today. So that's good.
Yeah, pleasure.
Yeah, thanks. And I guess let's just say, first of all, let's hope it's going to be a calm weekend, so we can all relax.
Yeah, would be nice.
Yeah, and then happy Friday to everyone.
Okay, yeah, take care, everybody, and have a nice weekend.